Hello everybody, right, welcome to the fourth instalment of the Royal Marines Band Service Masterclasses. I'm Corporal Gordon. A few people joining, fantastic. A quick rundown of what we're going to be doing. So I'll talk a little bit about who I am, what job I have here at the Royal Marines School of Music. I'll touch on a few things about what they learn under training. And then we'll burst into the masterclass itself, which is probably what most of you are here for. And we will talk about breathing, buzzing. So hopefully you've all got mouthpieces and bugles. If not, just join in with what you've got. We'll be talking about producing a nice rounded tone, slurring, pitching. If we have time, I will talk a little bit about articulation, but time dependent. We're going to talk about structured practice. That's quite a big one. And by request, which wasn't on the advertisement, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about performance nerves, anxiety, and how to combat it. There's a few methods that we teach here at the Royal Marines School of Music that's really handy. So also, if there's any questions, by all means, just ask throughout. There is constant schooling happening. I'm going to try my hardest to watch the feed as I'm giving this masterclass. A lot of waves. Hey, Go Atch. Hey, Laura Hughes. Love it. Afterwards, we're going to speak to the specialist recruiter. It's Corporal Amy Phillips. She will be on standby, ready to jump in and speak to you if there's any further questions that I can't answer, and anything you just forget during the way. So, those of you who just joined, I am Corporal Callum Gordon, or Cal Gordon, everyone calls me. I'm the instructor at the Royal Marines School of Music for the Corps of Drums. I'm coming up to about 12 years of service now. My job currently is to train the future of my branch. I want to produce the best drummers and the best buglers ever to have served in the Corps. A little bit of a personal goal there. To achieve this and to help out future buglers, future instructors, we need to pass on our knowledge to you guys, potentially future joiners, you guys and girls. The job of an RM bugler is a tricky one. We have to be the smartest on parade. Essentially, we're ambassadors for the Royal Navy and the Great Britain around the world, showing military precision and excellence. We can deploy with the wider corps to utilise our first aid training in recent years to Iraq and Afghanistan, but also wowing people centre stage on the Royal Albert Hall in London, for instance. Kimberly Hare, hello. I've been very fortunate in my career to travel to many places around the globe. I would have probably never have seen if I didn't join the military. To name a few, we've got Finland, Kosovo, Macedonia, Dubai, throughout the States, Russia. I was very fortunate to travel to Russia. Russia was a big one for me, and it's to commemorate the Arctic convoys. My grandfather was a Arctic convoy vet, and I went to Archangelsk, which is where the Arctic convoys travelled to from Lochhew in Scotland. And I got to play the last posts with Princess Anne and all that good stuff. TV gigs include Edinburgh Tattoo, Royal British Legion, the RBL thing on BBC One. I played at the Cenotaph a few times for remembrance. That's obviously one of the big last posts. The One Show, played last post on the One Show, BBC Breakfast Show, Alan Titchmarsh Show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and my all-time favourite was the James Bond premiere of Skyfall. We got to play on the red carpet, and then we got to meet Daniel Craig and all that sort of good stuff afterwards, which is great. But perhaps the most important and at times the hardest part of our job is service funerals. Definitely the most important. And which is why we're here. So the last post is our bread and butter. Being able to play this thing under vast amounts of pressure is what makes an RM bugler. This is what we're here for. So enough about me. Let's dive in. Let's start talking about the masterclass. So as we actually start it, if you've got a bugle or a trumpet or a cornet, even if it's just a mouthpiece, do join in. We're going to have lots of fun blowing raspberries at each other. If you don't have any of that, just watch, relax, and carry on joining with the raspberries and good fun stuff. Send me some videos and pictures via the hashtag RMBS Masterclass. Even if it is just to have a laugh and show me you blowing a raspberry, it'll be funny. Cool. Right, we're going to start at the very top. So, in order to set yourself up right for the win, there is a multitude of things to think about. To get the best result you want, is a nice, relaxed, fat, huge tone, and just a nice, smart bugler stood in front of you. So smartness, that's a big hint for what we're going to start talking about. What we need to start talking about is posture. So I am sat down currently, but I am sat upright. We are not going to have any slouching, none of this. So in order to breathe effectively, our lungs need to have half a chance. For instance, if I'm sat here slouched like this, hunched over, just everyone try this now. So if you're sat on your sofa at home, just hunch over and then just try and take a big breath in. I can probably get about half a breath. If you're playing a brass instrument, you're never going to be able to do anything doing that. So, here's a good way to think about it. Picture a piece of string going up from the top of your head, like you're a puppet. Someone's stretching you upwards. We're going to have a nice elongated neck. We're going to have straight back. Obviously, if you stood up straight, you're going to have nice straight legs. Everyone says shoulders back, but try not to think of shoulders back, because that's kind of tense, isn't it? Tension throughout all of this is your enemy. Okay, so instead of thinking shoulders back, think open shoulders. And the whole thing, we're just trying to relax. So upright, and give you a chance for your lungs to breathe. They need to expand. You need to give them room to do so. Okay. So we've already talked about it. Breathe. That is the big one. Okay. So you're playing a brass instrument. Airflow is the one thing I want you to take away from this masterclass. If you don't listen to anything else I say, airflow, okay? It's what gives us the ability to play the bugle. So, breathing. Fundamentals are key. Master the basics before moving on. So you've probably heard this in a multitude of different masterclasses you've heard. I know bugler Lewis Crowe was giving his masterclass, and a lot of what he was harping on about was master the basics before you progress. And it's the same with blowing. We need to practice breathing. It sounds odd because you've been breathing your entire life. Okay, we'll talk about it. So there's many different methods. None of them are particularly wrong. Some are more useful than others, and we're going to talk about a couple to start with. So fundamentally, we're going to breathe through the mouth. Yes, you can breathe through the nose. That's fine, you can breathe through the nose, but we're trying to make it as effective as possible. So to make it as effective as possible, we're going to breathe through our mouth. So before we start breathing, we're going to start with a sigh. It sounds simple, but it's so effective. So before you start taking a massive breath in, you don't want to breathe in on an already half-filled lung, do you? So expel the air first. To do that, just sigh. So everybody just try it now. Get rid of it. Before you take another breath in, just sigh. Get rid of it. So not only are you getting rid of whatever air is left in your lungs, you're also actually relaxing yourself. We're going to talk a little bit about performance nerves later, but that's a very useful tool before we even start. So you stood there, posture up, nice. Before you take a nice big breath in, before you start playing, we're going to sigh. Excuse me, right. So the breath in, there's a few different methods of this. I'm going to talk briefly about the wow technique. This really is just to get you thinking about what's happening inside your mouth. So everybody, wherever you are, you're sat with your family, you're sat with your mum, sat with your dad, just turn to her and say, wow. Sounds ridiculous, but say it and then think about what's happening inside your mouth, okay? Wow, wow. If I'm thinking about it now, my tongue is going to the bottom and I'm actually opening up everything that's inside my mouth. So when we're breathing, we don't want anything getting in the way, okay? So say wow, wow. Right, now we're going to do it backwards, hence the breath in. Okay, very good. All practice it. It's super silly. We're going to do a lot of silly things on this live feed. We're going to be blowing raspberries. I'm sure all my friends are going to take lots of screenshots of me looking very silly on a live stream. But backwards wow. Think about what's happening inside your mouth. Personally, when I'm playing, I don't want to disturb the platform of my embouchure, essentially. By embouchure, I mean where the mouthpiece is sitting on my mouth. okay? If I'm going to breathe, I'm moving that, okay? Alex Harvey, can I watch this back later? Yes, you can. This is going to be saved onto the Royal Marines Band Service Instagram and also probably on YouTube as well as Facebook. So enjoy this later if you need to. So where was I? Wow. Wow's a great technique, and it enables you to understand what we're trying to do. There's other methods to get around it without disturbing the embouchure, okay? So now I'm going to talk a little bit about, I call it a yawn. It's a kind of natural, so everyone just take a little yawn. Ooh, like how, not that this live stream's boring yet, but have a yawn. So it's a quality, relaxed breath. Mainly, we don't want any tension, okay? Tongue down in the mouth. Don't disturb the embouchure. So if you have a mouthpiece, just pick it up now and put it to your lips. And obviously we're talking about the wow, but now I want you to just practice it. Practice breathing with a mouthpiece in the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower the jaw, drop the tongue to the bottom, and use the corner of your mouth, yeah? So you're going to use these bits here, mouthpiece in the centre. Okay? So sigh. So I am holding it's bad, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Okay, so the jaw drops slightly, the mouthpiece still stays on the top lip, and I'm using the corners of my mouth to take the breath in, okay? Right, we're going to progress slightly. Let me just play around with this. We're going to progress to an exercise, and we're going to practice breathing, but we're going to do it in time, okay? This is all progressive, so we're going to use this exercise throughout the masterclass with various different techniques, with buzzing, with actually playing on the bugle eventually, okay? So, what I want you to do before we start is just, on the back of your hand, there's a lot of nerves in the back of your hand, just blow on it gently. Everyone feel that, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're aiming for a constant stream of air. This is to replicate you actually playing a note. When you're playing a note, you don't want it to sound like this. Absolute rubbish. You want to hear a nice constant stream of air, yeah? So, just on the back of your hand, just blow. We're going to use the back of the hand now. I've got a little exercise on the board that I've written up. For those of you that don't read music, we'll explain very quickly. So, look at the very top. Very top, we've got 4/4 written. So we've got 4 beats to the bar, and they happen to be crotchet beats, okay? So this sounds bar, 2, 3, 4. Next bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay? What we're going to do with the back of the hand, we're going to breathe on one, and then we're going to expel all of the air, so making sure we get rid of all of it, ready for the next in-breath. Okay? This is quite quick. If you're stood up, don't get lightheaded. We're going to progress it again and we'll probably double it. But for now, in on one, out for the 2, 3, 4, and then back in on one again. Okay, so it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Okay? One more time, we're going to try it as a group. Obviously I can't see you, just join in with the live feed, okay? After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was really just to show you how to understand what this exercise is trying to achieve. Use the back of the hand and get rid of all of the air that's in your lungs, ready for the next breath. So to help you do that, we're going to get rid of this in here, and we're going to do it on the count of 8. So what you're going to get is, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to do it a few times, we're going to keep it going. Remembering all the good work that we've just done on breathing, okay? So think about where the tongue is, think about lowering the jaw, okay? And we're just going to have a good breath in, no tension, quality, relaxed breath. After 4, we're going to go for the 8. 1, 2, 3, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. Keep that steady flow of air on the back of your hand. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, nice. I hope everyone's doing alright. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to make it slightly harder. We're going to double it again. We're going to go to 16. So, now it becomes a bit more understanding that we need to control that air really well, but can also control the expulsion of air as it's leaving us, okay? So we don't want any tension. It's going to go air straight from the lungs, straight out, okay? Don't let anything get in the way in there, and we're going to keep a nice steady stream. So feel it on the back of your hand, feel that airflow, and I don't want any sudden bursts of air, nice and steady all the way through. We're going to do after 4 and we're going to do count of 16, okay? After 4, 1, 2, 3, and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, stop. Okay, I hope everyone's getting alright there. I'm just going to check the comments, see how everyone's going. Hello. That's hard with asthma. I imagine it is quite hard with asthma. I used to suffer from asthma, but eventually you might get out of it. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to progress 6/8. Okay, this means there's 6 quaver beats to a bar, so it's going to sound 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to breathe on 1, but I want you to start expelling the air straight away on 2. Okay. So as you can see, this is a much faster breath. This is to practice. I don't like to use the word snatch, but this is to grab a quick breath in the middle of a piece of music, just in case you need a quick breath, and then you can expend the rest of your breath on the note itself, okay? So it's going to sound like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so with the back of your hand, get your hand back up again. We're going to go for it one more time in 6/8. You're going to get 1 bar of 6/8 and then we're going to go for it. Remember, nice big breath in on 1, but start blowing air out straight away from 2, okay? And I want you to produce a sort of noise, okay? So I think of a ha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I hope that was all quite beneficial. Moved on to some variants there. Right, now what we're going to do, grab your mouthpieces, grab your bugles. If you have a bugle, this is ideal. I'm going to use the bugle here. So we're going to use the same exercise now, and this is to push air through the instrument. So this is the feeling of exactly what we've been doing. You need to focus on this breath, and I want you to really focus on getting rid of the air at a steady, controlled rate. So control the volume of the air that you're getting rid of, okay? So we're going to start at the top again. We're not going to do the very first one, we're going to do it at a count of 8. So it'll be in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, okay? So bugles up, mouthpieces up if you've got them. Nice big breath. So now, obviously we've got a mouthpiece, so what we were originally talking about is we need to breathe around this mouthpiece now. So mouthpiece on the top lip, lower the jaw, take a nice big breath in, lower the tongue to enable you to bring all that air in, and then start expending the air nice and fluid, okay? After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Don't worry if there's any little farts coming out the end of the bugle. If anything, that's great because it means you can enable your lips to buzz after you've breathed in. So that's great. Right, we're going to jump straight on into the 6/8 just so we're not spending too much time on this. So again, faster breath in, lower the jaw, lower the tongue, quick breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? One bar and in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop it there. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to progress further now. I hope you all got to that. I'm going to spin the camera around so I can actually see you again now. There we go. Stay in shot. Yeah, I do apologise for that. I'm just trying to get you to see the board whilst I'm doing it. Okay, so buzzing. Where's my mouthpiece? Right, we're going to have lots of fun now. To start with, we're not going to use a mouthpiece. What I want you to do is to get your lips going, which is going to be good fun. So this is the part where I get to spit at you. All of you, I want you all to blow raspberries at me, essentially. We're going to start with a nice relaxed, so talking about no tension and things like that. We'll build it up to an effective buzz to go into the end of the bugle. This is going to be a great thing for the cadets to get used to. If you've not played a bugle before, start with this and we're going to start progressing throughout the end of this masterclass. Hopefully you'll get a nice solid buzz, okay? So we'll have a breath in, and before I mention, if you can toddle off to the bathroom or find a mirror in your house, can you do that right now? I want you to be able to see yourself, okay? So set me down somewhere. If you sit me on a radiator or wherever in the house, go in the bathroom, sit me on next to your mirror where you brush your teeth, kick your mum out if she's having the toilet. And we're going to blow raspberries actually at each other, okay? So we're just going to start with this. Okay? Mega relaxed, let it flap. All I want you to do is to push air through your lips to enable them to vibrate, okay? One more time, nice breath in, so the sigh, and then breathe. I hope you're having as much fun as I am, because it's good fun, isn't it? Essentially, I'm blowing raspberries at the internet. Great. Okay. Join the Royal Marines. Right, now we're going to... I'm just going to take a sip of drink. So, remembering all the good work we did on breathing, we want to focus on making a nice fat round tone. Sticks Dave, nice to see you laughing. Great. So... that was the fat bass sound. Maybe if you're a tuba player, that's what you're aiming for. But this little thing is not going to do anything if I blow a fat raspberry into it, okay? I do that from cooling down. Doesn't sound very nice. We want a nice... we want a nice tone, okay? So, this is the next fun bit. I'm going to have lots of screenshots, I'm sure of this. In fact, remembering that we've got the hashtag RMBS Masterclass, please send in loads of pictures of this next thing. I teach it, it's called the awkward smile, okay? So we've just buzzed like this. Now we want to buzz with an awkward smile. Smile might not be the best word for it because I don't want you to raise this. So I don't want this. We don't want that. It's straight back, okay? I call it awkward smile because of this. It's like you saying hello to one of your friends you've not seen in a while in the supermarket. Great. So we want to pull the lips back slightly and make it really awkward, and we're going to try and aim the buzz through the centre of your lips, okay? So now this is where it gets a little bit more tricky, and this is where you need to use that good airflow, keyword again, airflow. You need to use that airflow to enable your lips to vibrate, okay? So you'll get this awkward smile. Everybody hear that? You don't need to start it with your tongue, just start it with the breath. I don't want this, and I don't want this. No good to anybody. Just put the lips together and blow through, let them vibrate. You'll probably, to start with, end up with a sort of noise, okay? A lot of laughing faces here. Trust me, this works. If you want a nice fat tone in your bugle, this is how it's done, okay? So everybody try that at home. Try a nice high pitched. I'd love to see, I'm glad I've made your day, Sam Perkins. This is making my day too, don't worry about it. Okay, so I'd love to see videos. So remember that hashtag, the RMBS Masterclass. I'd love to see some of this. Okay, so we're going to aim that stream nice and forward through that, okay? So I hope you're doing this in front of a mirror and just look at what your mouth's doing, okay? Great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, Sandy man, we're going to use the mouthpiece and we're going to aim that buzz straight through onto a mouthpiece, okay? That's what we're aiming for. So this is what we're aiming for now. What we're headed towards. We're actually moving towards now building up your embouchure, okay? This is a bit of a minefield. I don't want to go into it too in depth because everybody's different, okay? Everybody has a different shaped mouth, has different teeth structure inside their mouth. Everybody has a different tongue. Everybody breathes differently. So everybody's going to do this slightly different, okay? Some of you might not be able... Can we see the awkward smile again, Lewis Crow? If you want to see the awkward smile, this will probably help you. There's the awkward smile. Okay, so awkward smile, mouthpiece on, and just for now, before setting up your embouchure, I just want you to move the mouthpiece around your mouth. Like I said, everybody's different. Some people might have an embouchure offset. Some of the buglers in the corps have offset embouchures. Offset embouchures, it's not a bad thing. Some of the best buglers in the corps have offset embouchures, actually. And we don't want to try and correct that. We just want to utilise what we're good at, okay? So if you have an offset embouchure, don't worry about it, it's fine. There's ways, obviously everyone wants that perfect picture of the bugler with a bugle nice and straight. But you see a lot of cornet players, they tend to read a lot of music. A lot of their embouchures are set down. So if they're going to play a fanfare trumpet, they'll probably end up tipping their head back a little bit. The main point is you're not moving the embouchure. Okay? So, we're going to give this a go. What I don't want to see is air pockets, meaning this. That is very poor technique. You want a steady stream from your lungs, straight out your throat, straight through your lips, out of your mouth. I don't want any air getting caught anywhere. So straight through the lips, no air pockets. The vibration is fueled by that air. So solid airflow, solid breath, and go for it. Have a couple of practices. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of the common faults I see with beginners. If you are struggling to get a buzz, or if your buzz is very airy, this is a very common thing with a lot of new players. Okay, it will probably sound like this. I'm finding it quite difficult to do, but essentially your lips are too far apart, so just try and push them together slightly and push more air through. And another cheeky trick that will probably help you if you're struggling to get a buzz at all is this. This is a little secret I learned, to be honest, a few weeks ago. If you create a little bit of resistance through the mouthpiece, it actually helps you. So what you're going to do is stick your finger over the end of it. If everybody can see that, yeah? So there's the mouthpiece. I've just put my finger over half of the end. Just give that a go. set your embouchure up, nice breath. Okay? Give that a go. If you're struggling to get a buzz, try the resistance method. Don't cover it over altogether because you get this. Nothing can come out. You need some air to release. Eventually, what you're aiming for is a nice fat. It should sound like a really annoying bumblebee. Okay? Great. So what we're going to do is now we're going to aim for an actual pitch. We're going to aim for a note. So I usually find when teaching beginners, the G is easier to hit than the C, as in the second note up. As the bottom C. We're going to try and hit that with the mouthpiece, okay? So aim for that pitch. Everybody together. La, that's the note you're aiming for. I'm going to take a breath in and we'll go for it. Sigh. Hope you all hit that. Again, I'd love to see some videos of people achieving this. Fantastic if you did. If not, I'd love to give you a help, but we're going to move on. So, once you have your sweet spot, like I'm saying, everybody's different. The embouchure might be set off. Don't move it. Don't move your embouchure once you've set it up, because essentially all that hard work is going into you building muscles. It's like going for a run. If you're going to the gym, you're going to work out a muscle group. You're going to keep working it out solidly. You're going to train for something. There's no point in you setting up an embouchure and then producing a beautiful sound and then start doing it over here. We want to start zoning in on this, okay? So there's another tool. I'm not selling anything, I'm not plugging anything, but if you're from a cadet unit or a volunteer band and you want to do some bugling, this is called a burp. It's not like a belch, it's a burp. B-E-R-P, burp, okay? And essentially it'll attach to the end of your mouthpiece, end of your bugle, so that when a mouthpiece is in it, you can practice without making a noise essentially whilst you're buzzing, okay? And it will help you not do things like this. Because that is not going to help your embouchure, okay? So that's a cheeky little tricks of the trade. I think you can pick them up online somewhere. Check on eBay and things like that. Cheeky little trick, burp. Okay. So we've buzzed the G, we put the mouthpiece. Now what we're going to do is buzz the G on the bugle. So we've got, that's the G. So if we buzz the G first and then put the bugle on, it will sound like this. Okay, so if we've got a nice fat sound on your buzz, a nice clean, clear tone on your buzz, the actual tone for the bugle is going to be perfect, okay? So, have a go. Have a go right now. If you've got a bugle, give it a go. So what we want to do, buzz a little bit. La's your G. Then pick your bugle up and give it a go. I'm starting all these notes with a ha noise. We'll talk a little bit about the starting the notes very soon, but for now, we'll do that. Right, what we're going to do, sorry for the camera angle again, but we're going to do that G with these exercises on the board, okay? Okay, just to save time, we're not going to do the breathe, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe. We're going to do the count of 8, okay? So, you'll get after 4, and then you'll breathe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, okay? I'm going to do it with you, and you're going to have to stay in time with my clicks. After 4. That's what we're after. Okay. You can progress from that, work out as much as you can get, go 16, go 32 bars. Just to save on a little bit of time, I'm going to move straight onto the 6/8. So this is the quicker breath, okay? As you can see, this is all progressional, so we've gone from just breathing to then breathing with a mouthpiece and breathing into the bugle, and now we're actually going to produce the tone after we worked on the buzzing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So please join in on that second beat. I'll try and click in quavers, it might help. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope that helps. That's just a progressional exercise. Let me just turn the camera back round again. Okay, changing pitch. We're going to talk about pitch now a little bit. So, changing pitch. This is where I see, I don't need to pick on cadets a lot, this is where I see a lot of problems happening, okay? Changing pitch, this is where a lot can go wrong. So, we need to think air speed, not tension in the lips, okay? Air speed is what changes the pitch of the instrument, not tensing up, okay? Yes, you can probably bend the note up by forcing your lips really, it's just very poor technique, okay? So, I like to use a candle analogy. So, say it's your birthday, we're stood here, everybody stick your finger up like this, everybody do this at home. You're about to blow out your birthday candle, you're 1 year old, happy birthday to you, well done. Okay, so if the candle is here, how much force is it going to take? How fast does the air need to go out your lips to blow that candle out? It's not very much, is it? Hardly anything. Picture that as your bottom C. So your middle C, yeah. What about if it's over here? Let me just move over right here. If I'm gonna get anywhere close to hitting that, I need to think about fast air leaving my lips, yeah? So it goes from, yeah? So practice that. Just do it a couple of times. Start here, slow air speed leaving your lips. The breath should be the same throughout. Slow air speed. As it gets further away, I want you to force fast air through your lips, okay? And then bring it close. So one more time, do it with me. Okay? That is essentially what we're after. The higher the note is, the further away it is, as in the further away you need to breathe, you need to force the air flow. I don't like to use the word force, but it's air speed, okay? Excuse me, I just got to take a little sip. So here's a question for you. On the comments, see if anyone can get the right answer. So, if I'm going to hit a bottom C, which is this one, and then a C in the stage, that's the musical interval of an octave. Ba, ba. How much faster does the air have to leave my lips to hit the middle, the higher C compared to the bottom C? How much faster? We're not talking volume, we're talking speed. So if you can just have a guess, we'll come back to it, and if anyone gets the right answer, then you can get a chuck up. Rubbish, someone got it straight away. Adam Wilson, well done. Hayden Miller, 17, well done. Twice as fast. It's an octave, twice as fast. To be honest, I only really learnt that a few weeks ago myself. I've been bugling for quite a while. It's twice as fast. Right. So, what we're going to do now is work from that C to C. So essentially, we're working on a slur now. So we've gone through breathing, we've got the buzz, and now we're still using the ha, and we're going to buzz up to a middle C, C in this day, from bottom C, la. Okay, so everybody get your mouthpieces up. Give it a go, find your embouchure. Remember the breath. Buzz from think of that candle. Okay? If you've got that, now hopefully people that do have their bugles on them, bring it onto the bugle. So we are glissing, we're slurring up, but what we're going to try and do is gliss straight from the C and then go straight to that other C. Clip that G in the middle if you want to. Okay? Try that a few times. And then what we want to do is miss that G out in the middle and go ba, and really aim for that C in the state. Cool. This is, I mean, there's probably a lot of people watching this that have, I've just seen, been playing 50 years and never calculated how much faster to play the octave. And exactly that, yeah, you just did it. Because you've been doing it for so long, and sometimes it's so good to go back to basics and just think of the mechanics of it, because there might be something it might just click in your head one day, and then suddenly your playing you'll get off that plateau that you've been stuck on for years. So do think about it. Do think about what's happening inside your mouth, what's thinking about with your tongue, which is really this is jumping straight quite nicely onto how we start a note and what we're doing with our tongue inside our mouth. So, morning routine. What we're going to talk about is ha, he. So, what we have been doing is we've been starting notes with a ha and a he, okay? So, that is essentially we're starting notes with our breath. Now what we're going to do is you have to be after. You're going to start blowing with the tongue, okay? We're going to start the note with the tongue. And there's a few words I want you to say here. So we've got ha, he, da, di, and ta, ti, okay? Sounds silly. I'm not having a laughing fit at work. These are genuinely ways to pronounce notes and start notes. So the difference between ha and he. So have a little think on the comment box. Ha, he, ah. That was a bit of a clue. So as I'm going higher in pitch, I tend to think he rather than ha. Think about what your tongue's doing. Ha, the tongue is right at the bottom of the mouth. He, my tongue is shooting up. Think about the mechanics of it, what's actually happening. Essentially, I'm shortening my airway, I'm closing my airway a little bit to help me speed the airflow. Yeah? I mean, it sounds so obvious now we're talking about it, but I bet a lot of people haven't really thought about it. If you're walking down the street and you walk through the middle of two big buildings, if it's a calm day, you probably won't notice it. If it's windy, it's an air tunnel, isn't it? You get blown over if you walk through the middle of the two buildings. So that is essentially the same thing. The air's being forced through a smaller air canal. So when we're saying ha and he, the he's raising the tongue and it's shrinking my air canal, okay? It's coming from the lungs out the throat, and he's a smaller gap, so it's helping me achieve that faster airspeed before it leaves the lips. So essentially it's helping my lips do the hard work. So again, releasing tension off the lips. This is where a lot of people get it wrong, and they struggle achieving high range because they're trying to force notes with their lips instead of airspeed and the correct use of their tongue and their mouth, okay? That's getting quite deep into it. I hope you understand what I'm getting at. So now you can start thinking of da, di, ta, ti. So these are cleaner starts, definite starts to a note. Ta-ti I would probably use to accent a note at the start. Instead of ha, you got. Sorry, I've changed the pitch. So that's a definite ba. So the note starts absolutely bang on. So have a play around with that. Just pick up your mouthpieces now, or if you don't have a mouthpiece, just say to yourself ha-ya, or da-ya, or ta-ti, ta-ya, ta-ti-ta. Okay? You obviously can start notes on this higher pitch. You don't have to slur up to it. Essentially, that's how we start getting more and more into articulation and things like that. But we don't quite have enough time to talk about articulation. But structured practice is what I wanted to talk about next, because we are rapidly running out of time, and I've got a lot to get through. So structured practice. So my trainees, my trainees at the School of Music, they come in at every morning. They'll probably have a run with a PTI, or they might be on parade band, but they will all come into the grot in the morning and they will all go through morning exercises. They will start on the mouthpiece and they'll do buzzing. They'll buzz. It's the same as if you want to get better at running, like we talked about. You're going to the gym, you want to work out a muscle. You need to train it, and you need to train it daily. To start with, if you're an absolute beginner, don't do too much, don't blow your lip out, because then you can start causing problems. But you're trying to train your lips to be stronger. That's the idea of it, okay? So we start with morning routines, buzzing, and then we move on to lip flexibility exercises. All this sort of stuff on the mouthpiece as well, and then onto the bugle. So I do actually have a one of our bugle exercise books. I thought it might be quite useful for you to have a look. I'm just going to flip the camera, and you can all take screenshots of one of our bugle exercise books. By all means, take a. I'm not going to show you the whole book, but this is a great way if you're learning how to play the bugle. It's a great way how to start your day. Okay, so if you read number 1, it says no tongue. So what we're thinking ha, yeah, not da or ta. So playing your C, there's your C, la. It's going from piano to forte to piano, and we're just holding that note. Okay. With volume, it literally is that. You need more air. So there's a good way to think of it. Pitch is faster air. Volume is more air. Okay? That's how it's done. By all means, take a screenshot. We're going to have a little look at number... The comments are actually in the way, which is kind of annoying, but here we go. We'll look at number 4 briefly. So what have you got? You've got 4/4, which means 4 crotchet beats to the bar. We're going to do a minim, so it's 1 2 1 2. Let me just pitch a G. La. Starting on the G. Number 4 goes like this. 1 2 3 4. So experiment with that one, experiment with dars and tars, experiment with ha's and all that sort of good stuff, and it moves on. And then I'm just going to briefly, so you can come up with your own exercises. Essentially, we're just working your lips out. The last one I'm just going to show you is the start of lip flexibilities. So as you can see, there's a little bit more on the page there. Yes, it's still kind of basic. But if we look at, for instance, 48, you are going to then start to think about ba, okay, so I'm actually thinking the shape of my mouth now. I'm using the E's and the R's, okay? So that's where it starts to come in. So by all means, everybody take a screenshot of that. And I'm going to burst very quickly on to talking about performance nerves. I don't have very long. but we will do it very quickly because it was actually a request from somebody that they wanted to talk about nerves. So, being a Royal Marines bugler, obviously you spend, well, when you play your bugle, it's going to be on your own, and it will probably be in front of hundreds of people. 8 times out of 10, it will be at a funeral, which is very high pressure. You have the family in front of you, and you don't want it to go badly. You obviously, it's someone's funeral, it's very important. So there's 2 methods that I teach at the School of Music. There's a visualization technique, and there's arrogance. I personally deal with it with arrogance. I don't mean arrogance as in I'm rude to people. I mean arrogance within my playing, okay? It's a bit of a psychology thing. I'm visualising, to be honest, them coming up to me afterwards and congratulating me on how well it went. I'm thinking, this is for you guys. You are going to love this. I'm here for you, and I've got this. And it's that sort of boastful, I'm the best in the world attitude. Obviously it helps because I've spent the last 12 years bugling with the Royal Marines, and I've learned how to do it properly, and that's behind me, sitting on my shoulder, which enables me to, in my playing, be a little bit arrogant. Buglers are very smart. You have to have a bit of arrogance in your playing sometimes. This doesn't always work with some people. It's just how I deal with it. So this is me giving my personal account on how I do it. There's another bugler in my training where he deals with the arrogance method really well, because again he's a quality player, and he's got that, like, I've got this, everybody listen to me attitude, which is great. Doesn't always work, however. The other one is a visualization technique. So I know you're all probably at home anyway, and you're probably all very relaxed where you are, but everybody on the live stream right now, shut your eyes. Everybody shut your eyes. I know it sounds silly. I'm trusting that all your eyes are shut. Okay, I'm going to do the same. Right. So I'm actually sat at my desk right now. To the left of me, I've got my computer screen. I've got the keyboard in front of it. I've got the printer on the left-hand side. If I turn around, I've got a whiteboard where all the upcoming gigs, or they were before pre-COVID, all the gigs are written up. I've got my cupboard to the right-hand side. Slightly to the right, I've got a window where I can see all the trainees, if they're doing what they should be doing. And I feel very relaxed. So visualise something. Everybody just sit you where you are and visualise being at home, sat on your bed, stood up in your room. What's in front of you? What's to the left of you? What's on the floor? What you stood on? What's behind you? So instantly, I'm just talking about it now, and instantly I feel very relaxed, okay? This is a very powerful technique if it's used correctly. If you know how to do it, you can stand on parade before a big last post and visualise being somewhere else, a different scenario where you feel comfortable, where you've not got TV cameras right in front of you, okay? In fact, about 5 of my buglers in training use this method before they go out. At the School of Music, our days run by bugle calls. So before the lunchtime call, before everyone can leave for lunch, the bugler goes out and sounds a bugle call for lunch. Bum bum bagadum bum 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 bagadum bum bum. Cookhouse. Men's meal call, sorry. And a lot of them visualise. They imagine being in their cell where they feel relaxed and comfortable. This is it's a great method to try. So if there are any actual buglers watching, or if you've got any gigs coming up, cornet players, give it a go. Because everybody at one point in their life will suffer from performance anxiety, and being able to combat it is key. Royal Marines buglers tend to be very good at it because they are put in that position all the time. Yes, Jane Matthew, you can open your eyes now. Sorry, fantastic. Right, I've literally come to the end. I've got 5 minutes left before Instagram cuts me off. So if there's any quick questions that I can just sort of answer before I see there's where can my brother get a copy of the Bugle exercise book from. Hopefully you've just taken a few screenshots. Really, you can write your own. You can come up with your own Bugle exercises. It's not too taxing. There's a lot of stuff online. There's an amazing book called I think it's called the Buzzing Bible, which is fantastic, and it's a great way to work out your lips. Thank you all very much for the thumbs up and the thank yous. I've really enjoyed myself. I know we've been blowing raspberries at each other and stuff like that. Sam Perkins, I'm not down to do any more masterclasses, but I'm sure if prompted I could probably. But is eczema going to stop me joining the Royal Military Music? So, Jack Ulse, if you can direct a few questions about recruitment towards the next person that's about to be on, is the lovely Corporal Amy Phillips. She's going to be on to talk about recruitment and things like that. How can we develop further for upper range and confidence? Okay, upper range, confidence, again, airspeed. You need to think airspeed, and then you are actually training that lip muscle to ideally speak to, if you're a cornet player and you're after like extreme range, do check out, there's a few, Corporal Mark Upton, who's in the band service at the minute. He's an absolutely fantastic cornet player, but he specialises in upper range trumpet playing. About tuning a bugle to play with B flat cornet, yeah, as long as you well, you'll be able to pull your shank out of the bugle. Obviously, if you pull the shank out like that, it's going to make it flatter. If you push it in, it's going to make it sharper. So yes, you can tune the cornet up with a bugle. Lovely. Thank you all very much. The feed's about to end. Over to Corporal Amy Phillips. She's absolutely fantastic, and she'll be on standby to answer any further questions you've got. She's a recruitment specialist mainly, but she's very knowledgeable and she's ace. So enjoy. Love you all. See you later.